The rather nasty disease sweeping the world right now is causing many countries to go into full lockdown. Self-isolation orders are informing people to stay at home, with many non-essential services closing down. But the concept of staying indoors for so long has given some people cabin fever. Still desperate to connect to the outside world, their methods of coping with self-isolation are manifesting into some of the most entertaining and crazy content on the internet. So with that, let's give them an audience. Dances with dogs. Oh, to be a dog in quarantine. Being with your favorite humans 24/7 must be the best feeling in the world. Indeed, one dog, super excited to have his owners at home, was even reported as spraining its tail from excessive wagging during the lockdown. Understandable, because when the humans get bored, all attention falls to the dog. Some people have resorted to dressing their dogs up in ridiculous costumes, but others prefer to be a little more active. Like one lady in China who was captured casually battle dancing on the balcony with her dog. One of the times she was even seen dressed as a caped combatant. Another time is China's answer to Rocky Balboa. And finally, as the fanciest of them all, the fan fighter. When lockdown is over, Batman and Robin better watch out. There'll be a newly trained crime-fighting duo in town. Festival season. If you're stuck inside with creative people, you can reinvent just about anything. For example, does anyone miss fireworks? Turns out all you need is a high-pitched voice and a couple of balloons. Seems a bit strange to be doing this all on your own, but some people are just trying to keep their family entertained. Turns out the greatest gift you can give in times like these are bleeding eardrums. Keep that in mind for 4th of July. Olympic curling. It's official, the Tokyo 2020 Olympics have been pushed back to 2021. But why should that matter when you have a set of steel pans and enough inspired madness to stave off the unending boredom? Stepping up to the mark, this competitor from China is ready to represent her country in the curling event of Quarantine 2020. Oh, it's a solid attempt. Great improvisation from the skip team, who are using several different varieties of mop. Will she score well? What a great shot! The 3-person crowd goes wild! Living in the Amazon. Even with half the world on lockdown, e-commerce giant Amazon is still finding ways to deliver online orders. It's great to know essential services like this are still up and running, so that monstrosities like this can be born out of self-isolation-induced insanity. It was posted to Reddit on March 23rd by user Filter99 with no explanation. All they included was a title that read, "I live in the Amazon now. I hope this strain of madness isn't contagious." The floor is lava. If you're into physical exercise, how do you keep yourself entertained with only the space you have indoors? Well, professional Swiss freestyle skier André Rigetli recently pointed his followers in the right direction. In an unconventional tour of the Winter X Games gold medalist's home, André endorses staying inside with a little light parkour. His stunt run included 3 trampolines, a cheeky jaunt on a hoverboard whilst juggling toilet rolls, a brief stint along the window ledge, all before backflipping into some hand sanitizer action. A totally normal exercise regime, right? But the real insanity comes when he blatantly steps on his MacBook to get to the next obstacle. If that's not madness, I don't know what is. Or maybe he's just sponsored by Microsoft. Plastic hands. Shaking hands and touching your face have become government-advised no-nos. But you can always bet that when the government says you can't do something, someone will find a way around it. Like Instagram user Shithead Steve and his hilarious public service announcement. Steve's approach goes something like this. Step 1. Wash your tiny plastic hands instead of your real hands for 20 seconds. Step 2. Don't touch someone else's face with your tiny plastic hands, but do touch your cat. Step 3. Clean your phone with your baby hands. Step 4. Wave at your neighbors from the safety of your doorframe, but only show them your creepy new hands. Thanks, Steve. I think we've got this outbreak in the palm of our tiny hands now. Odd socks. No matter how many online streaming options are available, there never seems to be anything to watch nowadays. It's gotten so bad that some people have even resorted to using their imaginations. Like Jamie of the Twitter handle Newman1979, All you need to recreate Jamie's video is an odd sock, a road, and a very loose grip on your sanity. The best part about this isn't the level of ridiculousness, but that he apparently read out of anything better to do on just day 6 of quarantine. Or worse, perhaps the gigantic car-eating monsters Jamie caught on film are the real reasons we're all locked up. SUPERHOT DJ. It's hard to party when all the nightclubs are shut down, even though videos of balcony dance parties are being uploaded every 20 minutes. But for people who aren't locked down in party-crazed tower blocks, just because you don't have access to DJ decks doesn't mean you can't join in. Just take it from TikTok user Zigno. He's got it all. Kitchen hob, fake mullet, white turtleneck. I don't know about you, but I know a DJ when I see one. And here comes the drop. He's even got light effects. I'm not sure if this verges on madness or brilliance. I guess it all depends on whether or not the stove is turned on. Clean exercise. With gyms closed pretty much everywhere, how do you keep your fitness up when you're trapped at home without any fancy gym equipment? Just ask Faraz Maksad. This professor of George Washington University has come up with a way to create the perfect at-home gym experience. I mean, that's one way to clean the floor, but wait for it. I'm not even mad, but if this is what self-isolation does to academics, I guess no one is safe. TRY-ATHLONS. It's not just runners that are missing the great outdoors. Sport events like triathlons require a lot of training in swimming, biking, and running, and the professionals that race in them can't afford to quietly disappear into their Netflix subscriptions. Many of them have come up with brilliant and bizarre ways to keep their training regimen afloat, like these guys. But these guys take first prize. Speedos, a skateboard, and a miniature bicycle. Forget triathlons, get this guy signed up to the circus. Catching the tube. Most of us are missing our old day-to-day routines right now, at least to some extent. But it seems like the Brits are really missing their morning commutes to work. So much so that TikTok Londoner Pablo Hutchinson decided to recreate a tube train journey in his bathroom with a few friends. It comes complete with platform announcements, tunnel light changes, even the noise of the train pulling into the station. But how will this commuter greet his quarantine buddy and fellow traveler who comes to board? Obviously in the most British way ever, by ignoring one another. But the drama is not over yet. This is the quarantine rush hour. Calling all passengers for self-isolation station. Mask Jong. When the going gets tough, there's nothing like a bit of dark humor to lighten the mood. And when you've been in quarantine since January like some unfortunate Chinese residents have, dark humor might be all you have left. For instance, Mahjong is a popular strategy game in China that can involve a small amount of gambling. But just take a look at what these Chinese residents were caught placing as bets. In case you didn't catch it, those are face masks. With the current face mask shortage around the world and the demand for Chinese-made masks through the roof, those paper strips are worth their weight in gold. Could somebody deal me in? Vitamin C section. It's important to make sure you're getting essential vitamins from fruits and vegetables during the lockdown, but how you get them is entirely up to you. For example, only a few days into self-isolation, a Twitter user decided to surgically dissect their snack with a scalpel and tweezers. The result? One mother doing well and 10 healthy baby segments. They had so much time on their hands they even stitched Mama Citrus back up. Aren't you glad I showed this to you? CHO-ZEN hairstyle. With non-essential services like hair salons and barbershops closing around the world, people have turned to the internet for answers. Indeed, Google has monitored a huge increase in its US users searching for the phrase "cut your own hair" over the last 90 days. But while some turn to hats to hide their shameful unkempt hair, others are taking advantage of not having to go outside for the foreseeable future. Like Reddit user "By My Hands Are With Fire," as you can clearly see. With his new monk cut and Bible in hand, he really does look holier than thou. You could even call it his shaving grace. But that wasn't even his final form. Just one day later, he returned to the way of the Clippers and transformed himself into the character Aang from The Last Airbender. Can you spot where he let the madness take hold? If the giant hairy arrow's any indicator, it's all downhill from here. Close shave. Cutting your hair gradually to look like a modern monk is one thing, but shaving it off on a whim like Joanna Sedia recently did is a whole other level. This YouTuber decided there was no better time to experiment with the buzz cut hairstyle than just a few days into self-isolation. Why? Well, in her own last words,
"Since the world is in absolute shambles right now, I thought, now everybody's home, I'm at home, no one's gonna see me."
It's hard to argue with that logic, but the video suddenly takes a twist into bizarrely profound territory as Joanna begins reciting the William Ernest Henley poem Invictus over the top of her head shaving montage.
"Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul."
I, for one, hope Joanna's haircut method catches on. It's cheaper, more invigorating, and undoubtedly more insane than a professional trim. The UN-NAMEABLE beer. Now, for reasons outside my control, there's a specific beer I cannot mention in this video because it shares its name with the virus. Incidentally, the virus I can't mention in this video will be demonetized in question has also had some unfortunate and frankly stupid impacts on the beer's reputation. One instance caught in a UK shopping center revealed the Brits are leaving crates of that beer in favor of stockpiling other brands. And some people have resorted to shaming the branded bottles online. But not everyone is taking the same fearful approach. Instagram personality Mr. Yakuza has found a unique trick for those spare bottles of the beer that cannot be named, using nothing but modified plungers and an unusual imagination. Yep, just a regular guy attaching plungers to his nips. Seems like another normal day in isolation, right? But why are the Corona bottles upside down? And what's he lining up for? All will be revealed in slow motion. A pointlessly incredible endeavor demonstrating just the right kind of insanity that'll get us through these trying times. Seeing as there's no vaccine at the moment, I suppose laughter really is the best medicine. What's the craziest thing self-isolation has made you do so far? Let me know in the comments below. Stay safe out there, and thanks for watching.